Folks, welcome to Corvette Talk with Scags. In case you didn't know, here in the mountainous part of Massachusetts, it's winter. As you can see, we got some snow, we've got some icicles up there, all the trappings of winter. So I think it's high time I do that winterization video. Folks, I hope wherever you're watching from, you still got a little fall, or maybe better yet, you can drive your Corvettes year-round. But here in the northern part of the country, winterization is something that we all have to deal with. Winterization, my guess, is something that if you ask 10 different people, you're going to get 10 different answers. So I'll just throw this out here right now. This is not etched in stone. This is just what I do to maintain my cars, what I've been doing since I've owned these cars for, we'll say 20 years. This is the way I winterize them. So first things first, what you want to do is get your car serviced. Okay, as you can see, inspection stickers on these cars are all in October. The green one, unfortunately, I don't have inspected, but hey, you know, you can't be legal all the time. So I make sure I get my cars inspected and serviced right around the same time each year. If the tires need to be changed, I get the tires changed. I just put new front tires on the Centennial Editions, the 06. I get the oil changed, I get the filter changed. I have my mechanic go through everything, so I make sure that when the car goes into the garage, when spring rolls around, I'm chomping at the bit to get these things out, they're ready to go. I'm going to try to do this in some sort of chronological order. If I screw up, well, if you watch my videos, you know that occasionally I screw up. Next thing I do is I fill these things with gas. Okay, so I make sure they're serviced, I make sure they're full of fuel, I make sure they have an inspection sticker. The reason why I make sure they're filled with gas is because the next step in the process is that I start these cars once a week. I don't put any fuel additives in there. I'm not concerned about any type of trickle charger. And the reason being is because I start these things. Religiously on Sunday, I start all three cars. If it's crazy cold here in Massachusetts, I'll start them on Thursday and Sunday. I let them run for 15 minutes. I let them get up to a specific temperature, usually just around 200 degrees. Or 2,000 degrees, whatever the stupid thing says in there. I wait till it's halfway up. As you can see, I know a lot about mechanicals of cars. Whatever halfway up is, that's what I wait for. I always leave the hoods open. Okay, they're closed now just because we're doing a video in here. But I always leave the hoods open on my cars. And I'm going to get to a little more in depth as to why I do that in the next video, which is going to be keeping mice out of the garage. But that's another whole video. I don't think I can do this one and that one in the same video without it being too long. So they're serviced, they're inspected, they're fueled up. Any repairs that need to be done, they're done. I start them once a week. If possible, I try to get them, stepped on my own car there. I try to get them out of the garage if I can. If it's a decent day like today, I'll pull them out. At the very least, I move these things around. Okay, so I'll start them up. If I have an opportunity, I'll move them around, put the clutch in gear. This is so that you don't dead spot your tires. It's also to keep the transmission in the action as well, not just the motor running, but keeping your tranny moving as well. So I put them in gear, put them moving forward, moving backward. If it's a good day, I'll pull them out. After that, let's see, what else do I do? Sorry, I have to consult my notes here. Memory's not that good anymore. Check the systems. Make sure you have no check engine lights on. Make sure all your lights are still functioning. Not only do I move them around, but I turn on all the lights. The 04 and the 1970 both have pop-up headlights. I make sure that those are functional. I check all the lights to make sure. And this is just so that, again, when spring rolls around, you'll be able to get these things out and enjoy them immediately. Let me just quickly check my notes over here. Another thing I don't do is I don't use a car cover. This is also going to go to my my mice video, but a car cover is something that I don't use. Again, this is why I said if I make a mistake, I went out of order. So before they even come into the garage for the season, I make sure they're washed and waxed. The reason for that is if you come out here in the winter and you're freezing cold and you're fantasizing about driving your cars, at least you could sit in a chair and look at a clean car. Who wants to look at a dirty, filthy car for the whole entire winter? Not me. So I wash them, I wax them, and I keep them clean throughout the winter. If they get dusty, I undust them with a little, like a feather duster. If they get any, living out here in the country, I will tell you folks that all things poop. Okay, so even if you have some flies or wasps or any moths or anything like that, they poop, folks, and they poop on your cars. So you got to clean that stuff off as soon as it happens. Quickly check my notes here. Like I said, if the weather gets decent, get them out. A visual inspection. Yes, make sure that nothing is funky on the outside. It could indicate that you might have a mice problem. So that's it, folks. That's my winterization. I don't worry about a trickle charger because I start the cars. I don't worry about fuel additives or anything like that because I start them. I believe the most important thing you could do when you winterize your vehicles is continue to run them at least once a week. I think where people go wrong is that they don't start their cars. They're either afraid they're going to run out of fuel. That's one of the reasons why I fuel these things up before I put them away. Particularly the green one, they're just sitting there idling. It burns fuel. So I make sure that's completely topped off. The other two, I could usually get a whole tank throughout the whole winter. So if I start the cars every Sunday from whatever it is, November all the way to March or all the way to April, I usually have enough fuel to get them by. Folks, that's my winterization video. Next week I'm going to talk about mice. Mice are a problem here in the country. And that's it. I hope you enjoyed it. I'm going to say get your plastics fantastics out. Hopefully you live somewhere where you can. I'm also going to do a quick plug for a friend of mine, Dominic, Autobahn Service. As I've mentioned in some of my other videos, my automotive interests aren't limited to Corvettes. I like foreign cars as well. If you're in the tri-state area of Massachusetts, Connecticut, or New York, and you have a high-end foreign car, Dominic and his crew will take care of you. Great guy. Just keep in mind that he's very busy, so have the time. If you want it done right, it's going to take some time. Folks, thank you so much. Thank you for watching my videos, and I'll see you next time. Thank you so much.